Welcome to the Doctor Show. Today I wanted to just have a discussion with you. It's me. I'm coming to you solo today, and I want to do so over the next couple of weeks. I want to talk today about when two philosophies collide. So recently I had an experience where I had to go into the medical system, and as you know, I'm in the chiropractic world, which is the natural health world, without drugs, without surgery, trying to lead an innate and healthy life. But I had to go into the medical system for some help. And obviously, they are there to treat symptoms and work to cut things out, obliterate things, remove things, which has its place. And what's really interesting is on both sides of the coin, there are a lot of vocal people who dismiss each other's points of view. And which was so nice to go into the system and be helped was that when you're actually in it, none of that came to light. None of that was an issue at all. So nobody asked me whether I'd had a certain procedure done. Nobody asked me whether I was up to date with certain things. They just saw me as a human being. They just saw me as a human being and helped me when I needed help. It was so funny. It was really interesting. For what I was having done, I ended up having a spinal block. So the consultant comes down, the anaesthetist, to talk me through the anesthesia, which I thought was going to be a general. And he says, "Oh, we're going to do a spinal block. So we're actually going to numb your lower half of your body. We put an injection into the spinal cord and it just shuts everything off." And I freak out. Like, I really freak out because I've seen patients with that go wrong. And I kind of know the area that they're going into, and it's a sensitive place. So we get into the theatre, and I'm on this bed. There's four anaesthetists all wearing their red scrubs, talking me through it. And I could tell that one or two of them were, one definitely was a trainee, lovely trainee. She didn't give it away from her lack of knowledge or caring or empathy. It was just obvious from the feel of the room. And I was like a little baby. I was literally like a little baby. I was freaking out. I was very nervous, very jittery. I mean, when they were just doing the initial little injections into my back, which numb it before they put the big injection in, my blood pressure just plummets. I start blanking. Having to deal with a real problem patient here. But eventually they managed to get that needle in, and it was just the most surreal experience. Your legs just go heavy. They have to roll you. You literally can't move your legs. I'm decently exposed on the table, but I suppose having a background in rugby, I didn't really care what was going on. But it was so funny. Like, as I was going through, I thought, I'm going to use this time. I'm having an operation done while I'm awake. There's a room full of anaesthetists and the surgeon doing his job behind, and some nurses. And I said to this anaesthetist, this trainee one, I said, "How come you've put that block in and I can't feel pain, yet I can feel general sensation?" And I'm getting on to her about nerve tracts in the spine and kind of just impress a little bit that I know what I'm talking about. To get them to ask the question, and they did, "What do you do?" So when they asked, "What do?" I said, "You know what? I do exactly the opposite of you. I do exactly the opposite of you. Your job is to turn nerves off. My job is to turn nerves on." And what was amazing was I ended up giving a lay lecture to these people while I'm in surgery. So I'm talking to this anaesthetist who has back pain, and he wants to come in as a patient. He's seen what we do in the local area. He wants to come in as a patient. And he says, "I've heard these crazy things that chiropractors can cure all this crazy stuff. How's that possible?" I said, "Well, let me to explain it to you like this. When you're born, when you conceive, those two cells, when you conceive, two cells in just 9 months become 50 trillion cells. There's an intelligence that grows that from these two cells to a human living body in just 9 months. If those cells grew at the same rate for the first 9 weeks that they do for the entire 9 months, you'd be born at 1.5 tons, but something stops that. There's some level of intelligence that creates that." And he agreed. And so, what do you think this intelligence leaves your body when you're born, or stays with you? It stays with you. And we know that, on the most rudimentary level, that intelligence works through the nervous system because your brain is controlling every single function of your body. And my job is just to remove the interference and allow that brain and body to talk to each other. So I have this lay lecture with this person who's numbing my legs to tell him how I would improve the nerves in his legs. And what was beautiful is we just had a great discussion. Two polar opposite professions in a time where one needs the other, and I was the one in need, and he is the one also in need, come together, have a discussion, and find common ground. And I think that's so important to understand right now, is that there is so much more common ground between us than we're actually letting be heard. We think that everybody's so different to us, that our opinion is right and what everybody else does is wrong. But it's not the case. We all have so much common ground together. We all have our unique abilities, our unique gifts, and our unique talents to bring to the world. And as we bring them to the world, there will be people in the world who want to receive them, and there will be people in the world who don't. I hate cucumber. I hate cucumber. You give me a cucumber and you've put your heart and soul into growing it, you've cleaned it up, you've freshened it, you even put a little bow around it, and you give it to me and say, here's a gift. I'm going to turn around and say, no, thank you. And you're going to find that pretty insulting. But it's not because I don't agree with the fact that you've given me a gift, because I just don't want cucumber. You see, we have our gifts and our talents and our opinions on how the world works, and we want everybody else to take it. But it's not true. Instead of focusing what's going on out there, why don't we focus inwards on how good we can be at our gift and our craft and just give it to the world? And whoever wants to hear it will take it. And if we all do that together, we'll find more common ground, and we'll be able to move forward as a community, as a species, and create great lives for ourselves. So I thought I'd share that experience with you. I'm going to be with you while I'm healing over the next few weeks. I'm just going to come in with some stories, just to let you know how I'm getting on, and hopefully some learning points from it. Just to give you something to think about. So as you go into this week, I want you to think, well, what common ground can you find with someone who you thought was on the opposite side? And let's see what a difference we can make. If you like it, please subscribe, please share. We've got some amazing interviews that we've had up recently. Please join us on the show, and I look forward to seeing you and speaking to you very soon.